Today is Wednesday, March 28th, 2018. The international date delivers a Spanish beatdown, some Brazilian revenge for the defending world champions. France's Black Stars face horrific treatment in the home of this summer's World Cup. England manager Gareth Southgate goes full Luddite on VAR. The Chinese national team decides that body art is its biggest problem. I'm Jason Davis. All that and more coming up on Davis Up Front. Everybody, Jason Davis here on a Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to all of you out there. Thanks for joining us here on Compass Football. Let's start with international friendlies. It is an international break. We're just coming out of that period. Spain with a massive beatdown of Argentina, 6-1. Nobody saw this one coming. Obviously, no Lionel Messi for Argentina was a major part of this. And now we're going to see just a little bit about this this domination by the Spaniards. Diego Costa with a goal in the 12th minute to set the tone. Isco, 27th, 52nd, 74th, a hat trick for the Real Madrid man. Obviously, Nicolas Otamendi getting one in the mix there before Spain really poured it on with a goal from Alcantara, from Thiago Alcantara and Iago Aspas in the 73rd to see it out. 74th minute for Isco to close it out, as a matter of fact. The Spaniards taking it to the Argentines. And, of course, Argentina thought of as one of the favorites for this World Cup. And if they can't do it without Lionel Messi, will they be able to do it at all? Hey, look, nobody's as good as they might be if they have Lionel Messi. And everything's going to be thrown off if you don't have the world's best player in the mix. But Argentina certainly can't be happy about this result. Meanwhile, in Germany, in Berlin, Brazil taking out the Germans 1-0 on a goal by Gabriel Jesus. And obviously Gabriel Jesus and Brazil feeling good about getting one over on the Germans after what happened in the semifinals of the World Cup in 2014. Is that redemption from a 7-1 beatdown in the World Cup? Probably not, but it's something for the Brazilians to hang their hat on as they head into the World Cup period. You might have heard after the match Thomas Muller talking about maybe Germany's not as good as they thought they were with that loss at home against Brazil, a team that they're probably going to have to face if they're going to go and repeat as world champions in 2018. Elsewhere, England drawing with Italy 1-1. First half Jamie Vardy goal canceled out by a late Insigne penalty. Now, this penalty came after a VAR review gave Italy the decision. Gareth Southgate, not necessarily someone who's 100% on board with the VAR decisions, talking a little bit about the technology. I think in this instance, my only observation would be that I don't think it's clear and obvious. I would prefer that the referee's decision is final. That is my start point, because I think it is sport, so we should not be talking about how much money it costs or how much money is lost. It should be based on sport. Okay, what does that exactly mean? I don't know, Gareth. What else did he have to say? But if we are going to go with technology, then I think it is the right thing to do. For me, the two areas are, one, clear and obvious, only clear and obvious. Otherwise, it's just an opinion again. And two, as we move forward, a better way of communicating with the fans and the crowd. This is something that's come up with VAR recently as it's been unveiled in a number of places across the globe, including Germany, MLS, and other competitions. One, clear and obvious is not always clear and obvious. And two, it seems as though the referees are often passing the buck on decisions or using the technology to overturn a subjective choice with another subjective choice. The fans in the stands don't know what's going on. They don't know when the referee is going to the VAR system, and Gareth Southgate expressing some issues with that. He went on and said, that was a little better tonight because at least they knew something was going on. I think ideally in other sports there is clearer communication with those in the stadium. When those at home have a clearer idea of what is going on than those in the stadium, I'm not sure that that's the right thing. So everyone watching on television knows that VAR is in use and that it's being utilized to review the England decision, or the decision against England rather, but everybody sitting in the stands has no idea what's going on. When asked whether or not he thought VAR was ready for the World Cup, Gareth Southgate said, I don't know. You would have to speak to the guys who are across the technology. I think if it's straightforward decisions, then okay. Other countries are further ahead in the experiment than we have been. But look, the rules are the rules. we have got to play the game. Okay, so I suppose that's okay from a Gareth Southgate perspective here. Looking at the VAR decision, it didn't result in a loss. Of course, England wants to win the game, regardless of whether or not it's a friendly. And now the system is going to be used at the World Cup. Will it come into play, and how much controversy will it create? It's still early enough in the technology's lifetime that you can't expect all fans to be 100% on board with the idea of using VAR at the biggest tournament in the world. There were other friendlies in the world, including France in Russia, in St. Petersburg, to take on the 2018 World Cup host, Kylian Mbappe, with 2 goals. He's a star. Paul Pogba with a free kick, absolutely fantastic. The problem in Russia, the ugly scenes that come from Paul Pogba and Ousmane Dembele being racially abused. The French Minister for Sport, Laura Flessel, after the game said on Twitter, this is a translated tweet, "Racism has no place on the football pitch. We have to act in unison at a European and international level to put an end to these inadmissible actions." FIFA has said that they're going to gather evidence and take a look at the racial abuse suffered by Pogba and Dembele at this game in Russia. The problem, of course, is that nobody seems to want to do anything and take the actual necessary action to curb the practice. FIFA President Gianni Infantino has said in the past regarding racism in Russia that referees would have the power to abandon or halt games should there be racism. And yet, no referee seems to want to take that decision. Can you imagine at the World Cup in Russia in 2018 if a referee, especially with the home side on the field, decided to cancel a game or abandon it, maybe even with Russia ahead? That would be certainly a controversial moment, something that could upend the World Cup itself. A couple of other scores to note: Croatia beating Mexico 1-0 in front of a sellout at AT&T Stadium in Texas. Mexico continues to be the most popular national team in the United States. And Egypt falling to Greece 1-0. There are questions about the defense and the attack without Salah for the Egyptians as they lose to Greece, their second consecutive loss. All right, let's step away. When we come back, we'll touch on a lot more in the world of football, taking a look at some of the other stories across the world's game. Stick around. Back here on a Wednesday with Davis up front talking about the world's game. FIFA rankings set to come out on April 12th. Not out yet, but the math says that Germany is going to stay on top, defending world champions despite the loss to Brazil at home. Brazil to stay second. Belgium moving up 2 spots to number 3. Portugal 4. Argentina 5. Switzerland, France, Spain, Chile, and Poland rounding out the top 10 for the FIFA rankings in April. Peru, 11. Denmark, 12. England down in 13th. Tunisia, surprisingly perhaps for some people, in 14th as we get closer to the World Cup. Mexico, 15th. That's the highest ranked CONCACAF side. Colombia, number 16. Uruguay, number 17. Croatia, 18. Netherlands, 19. Not in the World Cup. Italy, number 20. Not in the World Cup. The United States, 24th. Also not in the World Cup. Elsewhere, Germany coach Jogi Löw says he has no interest in the Bayern Munich job. He's been on the job with Germany for 12 years, obviously a world champion in 2014. Bayern Munich continues the search for a new head coach, as the thought is that Jupp Heynckes will be leaving at the end of the year. Tottenham's Mauricio Pochettino, Lucien Favre, currently at Nice, Eintracht Frankfurt boss Niko Kovac have all been linked to the Bayern job. A job that many managers across the globe will want, but of course it comes with a lot of pressure at FC Hollywood. In Italy, Lazio, they made quite the mistake. They fell for a $2 million email scam after being suckered in by an email over the last payment of Stefan de Vrie's transfer from Dutch club Feyenoord. So Stefan de Vrie moved to Lazio from Feyenoord a couple of years ago, $7 million fee. Lazio receives this email coming for the last payment that appeared to be from the Dutch champions, asking for that payment along with some bank account details. They included that in the email, and Lazio went ahead and sent the money. Well, turns out that that bank account did not belong to Feyenoord. Feyenoord never received the money, claimed to have no knowledge of the email. Now it looks like a prosecutor in Italy is going to look into the case. They tracked the money to a Dutch bank account, doesn't belong to Feyenoord. What a mess, Lazio. What are you doing? You can't be falling for phishing schemes when you're involved in multi-million euro transfers. The problem with this, the extra bonus element for Lazio, is that they'll lose the defender at the end of this year as his contract is set to expire. Wow, good job, Lazio. That's something that the Roma fans, I'm sure, won't let you forget about. All right, let's step aside again. When we come back, we will certainly touch on some of the other interesting news, including China's ban on tattoos. Stay there. Back here on Compass Football, Davis up front on a Wednesday. Strange news this week as China has banned tattoos from all its players, visible tattoos anyway. Now, here's the thing. This is not just about the Chinese national team, but it's not helping them. They lost 6-0 to Wales and 4-1 to the Czech Republic in the China Cup, a tournament that they're hosting in China as those nations get ready for their own summers and pushing for the next World Cup. Defender Zhang Lingpeng, who the national team head coach Marcelo Lippi has said is the best player in the Chinese top division, has announced that he wasn't going to play in the Wales match, didn't show up, citing a shoulder injury. But the issue is that Zhang is one of the players decked head to toe in tattoos that would be very difficult for him to cover up. This is all part of a new government ruling that has banned any depiction of quote-unquote hip-hop culture, subculture, and dispirited culture. Wow. Political term for the non-dogmatic decadence that exists outside of the government's nationalist self-image. Doesn't fit with what China wants to be. Okay. Interviewed about the new policy, the U19 head coach, Ji Zhu-Quan, said that the team will not accept any player who wants to be selected to the national team unless they wash their tattoos, perhaps a bit of translation issues there, and dye out of their hair. Wash their tattoos and get the dye out of their hair. Now, he mentioned that he thinks the players shouldn't be worried about their image at all. They should be playing without worrying about image, and yet the state and the coach himself seem to be very worried about image. In January, the State Administration of Press, Publication, Radio, Film, and Television, which perhaps covers the national team, nobody's quite sure, announced a new set of regulations concerning what is and isn't appropriate for television. The director of publicity for that group issued a statement that said that that television will not be a place for anybody who doesn't follow these edicts. The absolute no-goes. Absolutely do not use performers whose heart and morality are not aligned with the party and whose morality is not noble. Noble morality. Check. Very important. Absolutely do not use performers who are tasteless, vulgar, and obscene. I mean, nobody wants those people on television anyway. Not sure what exactly he's referring to directly. Now, if these rules were in place in the United States, we'd have a big problem. But China, do not use performers who are tasteless, vulgar, and obscene. Sorry, Roseanne, you can't get any work in China. Absolutely do not use performers whose ideological level is low and have no class. Now, I don't know if this means strict, dogmatic belief in the communist system of China, or I don't know, ideological level. How exactly do you measure that? Is there a test? Oh, I hope there's not a test. Absolutely do not use performers with stains, scandals, and problematic moral integrity. That's the issue here, the problematic moral integrity. A senior CFA official said, China promotes cultural confidence among nationalities and core socialist values. So as the national team, it has a responsibility to provide a healthy football culture for society and work as an example in this respect. So again, this is a national team struggling to make a mark on the international stage. Can't imagine it's going to be that much easier when we're talking about a football culture that is all about tattoos and all about self-image and all about hairstyles. Maybe China can overcome this. Maybe this will solve China's biggest issue on the field. China, no tattoos for its national team players. Man, that sucks. Follow Compass Football on all your social networks, Facebook, Twitter, everything. Stay tuned for more Compass Football programming. This is what you got to do. Send us your thoughts on this show, other content you want to see from Compass Football as we continue to build out the channel. Jason Davis with you on a Wednesday. Thank you very much for watching Davis Up Front. I will see you later.